Welcome back, Captains and Admirals, to another video with a funny muffler. And today we're on the Atlantic Domination, and we're using Republic. I do have the sci-fi skin, so I think this is the closest we're going to get to a Star Destroyer for, for quite some time, if ever. So we'll have a quick rundown about Republic. So I can't remember how she was obtained originally. I can't remember if she was a campaign ship or a unique currency ship. I can't quite remember. But for everyone who did pick her up, congratulations, because she is a fantastic ship. For everybody who doesn't have her, she is available for GXP in the store, and I would highly recommend. If you like playing battleships, if you like long-range snipers, and, part-time brawlers, she's a really good ship. So, she's fast. She's reloader, and she's got full ahead. So that means she can be equipped with an engine boost. She's above average main battery reload speed and above average movement speed. So top speed is 30.9. That's without engine boost. She's got very powerful AA defense as well. It's 98 of 100. Long range, 4.5, 5.2, and 5 kilometer range. So it's quite a decent range on everything. So your main guns. So you got two quad 431mm. You have the secondary armament I am going to talk about because you can build a secondary build. I think she only reaches out to about, I think it's about 10.3 or maybe slightly lower. But you'd be surprised, she's actually quite a good brawler. So, consumables, she has heals, secondary enhancement, and engine boost. So the engine boost is, can't change it out. Can't change out the heals, and you can't change out the secondary enhancement. So what you see is what you get. We're all getting harassed by destroyers. I think there's quite a few destroyers in this game. There's 4 per side. At least it's not 4 destroyers. But she's got 16.9 inch guns, more or less 17 inch guns. So, like I said, her guns hit hard. They're surprisingly quite accurate, and they reload quite quickly. As I said, I have Dunkirk, so we'll talk about her skills just after I go through the mods. So, modifications. I am running Aiming Systems Mod 1. If you wanted a secondary build, you could obviously use Secondary Battery Mod 2. I've then got Steering Gears Mod 2. Concealment System Mod 1. And then I've got Main Battery Mod 3. So you get a slower traverse time for the guns, but it does reduce our reload by 10%. So as long as you pre-plan your shots and, you're not getting extremely close, the effect is minimal. Let's have a quick look at the armor. So she's got 32mm bow plating, or end plating, I should say. Let's have a look at her armor belt. So the armor belt is 350 to 400mm. This is the casemate armor. She's also got side torpedo protection, which is an extra 32mm. So if you angle with the ship, you're going to be an absolute nightmare. Which, let's be fair, is what everybody wants. Everybody wants to have massively thick armor. On the armor scale, it goes up to exceptionally thick armor. Between 400 and 999 is what it says. Is within range of that purple colour. And it's, when you're angled and everything bounces off, it's just such a satisfying feeling. Yeah, let's go to the commander. You can run Robert Juard. I would, recommend Dunkirk, but you could run Ageline Richelieu, or for the secondary, Michael Atier or Spock. You've got Grimlock. Grimlock can be used as well, but she doesn't have. Sorry, she does have a unique skin for Grimlock. If you have that, I would recommend Dunkirk just because of one thing, and it's frontal fire. So, as long as your shells are fully loaded, you reduce your reload by 95% if you switch shells. And it's come in clutch, not this battle, but it's come in clutch quite a few times. Ambushed by a destroyer, you got AP loaded, you click a button, straight to HE. Sometimes it's enough to kill them, or knock out their torpedo tubes. The build I got, so base trait is Floodgate. And I have Flammable Cannoneer. So, what Floodgate does, reduces flooding damage to your ship by 20% if she's max level. And I've got Flammable Cannoneer, we all know what that does. 8% range, 5% to main battery shell grouping, plus 30% fire chance. Been through frontal fire. It does reduce your damage by your main guns and planes, but we only got guns, so doesn't affect secondaries though, which is quite interesting. Marksman by minus 10% dispersion, plus 5% rudder shift time. We all know that. And this one's preference. I would personally recommend Master Mechanic, because you get the extra 2 heals, it takes up to 5, and you heal more back. And then, yet again, this is preference. I would strongly recommend Fight Fire with Fire. Farsight is much usable since they changed it, because it used to have that negative effect. I still don't particularly like using it. I just find I'm better off just staying away from the torpedoes, if possible. And running with scissors, if you've got a secondary build, can pay off. Personally, I'd fight with fire all the way. For each fire, it reduces damage. And then when you got 3, it just extinguishes them all. But if you are wondering what skin I have, it's called Paris. It's the Paris Republic skin. It's the Stellar Clash. And it's just a normal skin, but got nice little lights and funny gun noises. And like I said, it's the closest thing I'm ever going to get to a Star Destroyer, so I'm going to run with it. As you can see, we've had a pretty good game so far. Teams are still fairly even. Yes, they've lost one more ship than us, but they do have a cap over us. As you see, even though she's only got 2 turrets with 4 guns each, she is consistently accurate. You will get times where it will troll you and you will miss your shots, but that'll happen with most ships, if not all. Well, we're trying to get rid of this Massachusetts. I'm gonna clip that Lucian. Yeah, I think we got him here. Providing the grouping and dispersion holes. Still, a hit's a hit. If you see a destroyer, 9 times out of 10, you really should shoot it. But I'm not gonna lie, I forget. Sometimes I get tunnel visioned. We all do it. And use another tunnel vision thing. Carrier spotted. And I want to blast it. But at the moment, nothing else is really in range. We got the Massachusetts to our right. It was a reasonable hit. I was hoping he'd explode, but I'll take a hit, especially at this range. Oh, we're very close to stepping out of the circle here. Trying hard to stay in. Oh, we did take him down very, very low. But let's get our focus back on the Massachusetts. So, moment in time, I think the Mass is the most dangerous. So, enough talking about the game at hand, though. Let's talk about strategies. So, I would play, you know, you could play as a sniper, sit further back, take pot shots, try and finish off enemy ships, or if you find a good, you know, a good target that's broadside, try and knock them out of the game. But you do have a good reach. You've got fairly good accuracy, and your guns hit really hard. And you clear a lot of obstacles as well, provided you're not too close. Boom. Up goes the weasel. Yeah, as you can see, 19 kilometers is our maximum range. You'll probably get it higher with Megatron, for example. I like playing mid-range. I don't have a brawler build, but I like getting stuck in. You've got a large health pool, a lot of heals, and as long as you're fairly careful, like I've been fairly passive with my play, but I've been quite aggressive when it comes to engaging the enemy ships. So I really wanted to skewer B, and I've been hovering around B the entire game. I suppose being like an anchor for my team, you know, there's that, you know, being that one guy that's trying to lock down an area, trying to fire on anything that's spotted that threatens, you know, C cap or B cap. Especially on this map, it's quite easy to support your allies. As you can tell, we've done a fantastic game. You can get a fantastic secondary build. You know, I would use Spock, but you know, you can always switch it up. You could use Robert Duard, and does he have Megalovania? Or Megalomania? I can't remember what it's called. Megalomania. You know, you could use that, so rather than using Flammable Cannon here or Robert Duard, you could have not one for Nuisance, Gyrating Drill Bit, and then instead of Marksman, you could move over to Megalomania. And then you could have, I would suggest Emergency Specialist and then Wilter build. But then you are relying on allies, so I would suggest using that in the division. But yeah, I think the best strategy for this ship is mid-range. You know, you've got very powerful AA. Now, it's not going to stop a carrier attacking you. Let's be fair, what can? But it will make them pay for it over time. And you can tell there, we acted like an anchor. We performed really well for our team. We're just a tank, more or less. So, that's what I'd recommend. 3,600 XPS, good. 2 kills. But yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Mid-range. Try and find an anchor point for yourself. Whether it be a cap or an island. And, you know, just be this anchor point for your team. And hopefully your team will recognise it and play off it, which our team did. They started pushing C. You know, A fell. So, wholeheartedly, that's my opinion. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did enjoy it, leave a like and comment. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And take care.